So today, you just start lying on your back. Knees bent, feet flat, feet comfortable distance apart, and a comfortable distance from your seat. So don't try and be perfect. Just put your legs somewhere where they feel at ease. If you really feel like you gotta hold on to your legs, you can always walk your feet a little wider, drop your knees in, let them rest that way. If your neck and shoulders are unhappy, feel free to put something under your head. Block, blanket, doesn't matter. And then just take these first few moments just settling in. You may choose to leave your eyes open. You may choose to close your eyes. Quietly breathing in and out through the nose. You're not trying to change the breath in any way, just letting the breath be whatever it is. Every time you inhale, body expands a little bit. Every time you exhale, body settles. And keeping the feeling of the breath in the back of the mind. Scan the body for a moment. Notice if you're holding tension, where you're holding tension. Can you let it go? Seeing all the little muscles in your face, forehead, around your eyes. Observing the little muscles in your lips and your lower jaw. Allow your lips to soften. Allow the bottom jaw to relax away from the top jaw. Creating the conditions for the tongue to go quiet in the mouth. Noticing your neck, gentle little arch at the back of the neck. Allowing for a softness in the throat. Feeling the air on the fingers and the palms of the hands. Noticing the heaviness of your arms on the floor beneath you. Observing your shoulders, your upper back. Your middle back, your low back. Any sensation in your hips. Observing any sensation in the legs, knees, ankles. Any sensation in your feet. Now the body's settled, take a moment, just notice the state of the mind. Is the mind very busy? Is the mind very quiet? Following the thoughts for a moment and then shifting the noticing from the movement of the mind back to the feeling of the breath. Now, changing this shape just a little bit, you're going to bring your feet together and let your knees go wide. So you're going to come into reclining bound angle. Just observing how the hips feel. You feel the same right and left side. Noticing when you moved your legs into the shape, maybe how that changed sensation in the back. Perhaps there's sensation in your knees. Noticing if your knees are about the same height. Observing how your feet and your ankles feel. Just noticing. And pick your legs up. Place your footsoles on the floor. Feet are about parallel, pelvis width apart. You're going to push down through your feet and you're going to take your bum just a little bit off the floor. So just barely, there's very little space between the seat and the floor. Arms are relaxed. First thing you want to notice is, can you do this hover pain-free? Which is this little grabby in your low back. Kind of sit down, start again. See if you can let the body figure it out. And it's not a tail tuck, it's not a hip lift. Your glutes aren't doing too much, they're pretty relaxed. I need you to push down through your right foot and see if you can get your left foot to come up off the floor. And you're trying to do that without the right side of the pelvis dropping down. You might absolutely get a little bit of a hamstring cramp there. That's completely normal. You're going to put your left foot down, you're going to pause, kind of adjust. Notice what's engaged, what you're using to be here, and then watch how things shift as you take your right foot up off the floor. So you're now the left hip stabilizing, trying to keep the pelvis level. Just noticing how that feels. You're going to put the right foot sole down. You're going to set your pelvis down. Bring your feet together, let your knees go wide. And just notice if this feels different. So get back into reclining bound angle. Maybe we notice a sense that we are more flexible. Even though we didn't stretch anything, just noticing if anything changed. And you're going to pick your legs back up. Now this time around, I'm going to get you to bring your arms straight up in front of you. Same thing, we're going to pick the pelvis up. It's hovering just like a centimeter up off the floor. You're going to push down through your right foot so you can get your left foot up off the floor. This time around, noticing maybe how much you were using your arms to stabilize. Now it's all hips, maybe a little shoulders. Put that left foot down, pick your right foot up. This is a really good exercise just to show you if there's a big difference in your right and left side. And very often that will be the case. You're going to put that right foot sole down. Last time you're going to set your pelvis down. You're going to let your arms relax. Bring your feet together. Let your knees go wide. You can just notice if there's any change in this shape. Better, worse, indifferent. You always want to remember, just because something should be helpful doesn't always mean that it is. You can pick your legs back up. Now I'm going to get you to move your feet a little bit wider, maybe mat width apart if you're laying on a mat. We're just going to let the knees windshield wiper. A little bit of left to right, a little side to side. Noticing again how this feels, where it feels, what's going on your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips. Remembering that if you feel something somewhere, it doesn't mean your body part is bad. You don't have bad knees, you don't have bad hips. And it's just a signal. Back off a little bit. Change the way you work with it. Legs are gonna come back through center. And then I need you to bring both your knees into your chest. You're gonna bring both knees into your chest. You're gonna rock a little bit, side to side. Let the back flatten out. Then you're gonna continue to hold on to your right leg. So you're gonna hold on to your right leg. You're gonna stretch your left leg up. Now, you got a straight right leg and you got a bent right leg. It's as close to you as it can be, and a straight left leg. You're going to lower the left leg as low as it can go without your back arching. So we want to keep the back flat, and you want to also, as the left leg lowers, watch that your right leg doesn't move away from you. So we're trying to keep the pelvis tipped back, keep the right hip flexed as we extend the left hip. And you may or may not get that leg to the floor, and it's okay. Keep breathing. It's okay to yawn. You're gonna bring the left knee in, you're gonna switch. So you're gonna hold on to your left leg, and we're gonna try and keep the back flat. Reach the right leg up, push that heel away, extend the right hip. Keeping your back flat, keeping your left leg where it is. Just breathing. We're going to switch that out one more time. It's going to be right knee in, left leg up, lower down. You might notice you can get a little lower second time around. Might not. And we're going to switch. and bring both knees in. So now you're going to stay little and keep those knees as close as you can. See if you can pick your head and shoulders up off the floor. And if this isn't great for the neck and shoulders, maybe you don't do it. You're going to keep yourself little. So you're not holding onto your legs. You're just making yourself like a little ball. And you're going to roll. In this case, I'm rolling left. You're going to try and stay as little as you can. And then roll right. So just trying to roll like a little ball side to side. Make sure you're breathing. Now, one more time, go right. You're gonna come back, you're on your left side, you're gonna put your right hand down in front of your face. Without using your left shoulder, you're gonna push the floor away and pick yourself up into like a little one arm push up, side bend kind of thing. You pull yourself back down, you roll to the other side. Left hand comes down, right side comes up. So little side to side. Little one arm push up. Staying as little as you can as you roll. And you're breathing. Now again, we're going to make it a little bigger. So as you come left, you're going to reach your right leg back, and it's like a sideline pigeon pose. And then you pull everything back in, roll the other way. Side pigeon, keep going. Now, last time, you're gonna go onto your left hip. You're gonna pick yourself up. Little side bent sit. And you might notice like maybe one hip is quite a bit higher. You're just trying to settle down a little bit. Breathe. Take the weight out of the back hip. Pick your legs up and switch. That's gonna look different for everyone. And maybe you can see this side is much more challenging for me. So you might notice that in your own self. Sometime you're gonna switch in any way that works. Now, from here, without your legs changing too much, you're just gonna crawl yourself forward and sit yourself back. And then you switch, crawl yourself forward, sit yourself back. Now, you're gonna use your arms as much or as little as you need to. So you might not need the arms at all. You can just from the hip and the legs a couple times. Last time, around, then you're gonna crawl yourself into tabletop. Wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, little cats and dogs. You're gonna push the floor away, tuck your tail, cat back, lift your tail, look up, dog back. You might breathe out into flexion, breathe in to extension. Now, come through what is essentially a neutral spine. So you have top of the pelvis, pubic bone parallel to the floor, bottom rib in line with top of pelvis, sternum parallel to the floor. Coming into a neutral spine, we're gonna think about our elbow pits. So you can see here my elbow pits are facing forward, and then you're gonna turn them to face one another. So it's external rotation of the shoulder, internal rotation. Notice, can I do that
without moving my hands. Now you're going to put your elbows down directly below your shoulders. So we got, basically you're still in tabletop, hips over knees, shoulders over elbows, palms face down. Now, if you've got lots of tension in your shoulders, you're gonna do one of two things. You're either gonna move your elbows wider than your shoulders, so you wanna try not to do that. That being said, if it's the only way you can be in this shape, go right ahead and do it. The other thing is this tendency for the hands to angle towards one another. So same again, if that's the only way you can be here, absolutely go ahead and do it. But we're gonna work towards a place where the forearms are parallel. Then from here, and you can see I'm really letting my ribs drop. What you're gonna do is try and pick the bottom edge of your rib cage up. So it's like you're trying to maintain dog back in your low back while creating a little bit of a cat back in your upper back. You let your head go, you relax your jaw, and breathe. And then maybe you just pull back a little bit, just a little bit, getting a little more tension in the upper back, a little more sensation. Take one more breath here, shift your weight back forward, pick yourself back up into tabletop. So now, from tabletop, you're gonna sit your seat back on your heels. If you cannot comfortably get your seat onto your heels, you're gonna take something, a block, a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, whatever you need, put it between your bum and your heels. And then we're gonna think about our hands. So what I want you to do is see if you can lift your thumbs up, but not the palms of your hands. And then you're gonna come forward. So if you come forward and your thumbs drop or your elbows bend, that means you've gone too far forward. So we're just getting the thumbs up, coming forward to a place where we can keep the thumbs lifted and the elbows straightish. Then you're gonna pull your palms off the floor and put them back down. So it's a little palm push-up. You're pulling up and down, up and down. We should start to feel this in our forearm. Breathing. Put the palms down, you're gonna shift back. Give that a little break. Now pick up just your pointer fingers. Come forward without bending your elbows. And then tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight back. And it's middle finger. Coming forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight back, and it's ring finger. Usually the ring fingers are tricky. They're just there for all the jewels. Tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight back. Pinky fingers. Come forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now make fists, and you're gonna walk a little bit around on your fists. When you make a fist, try and hide your fingernails. And you know, if you have fingernails that make it hard to make a fist, just be aware that while they are very beautiful, and they are limiting the range of motion in your knuckles, which as we age might be a concern. So it's something to think about, because if you do not use a range of motion, if you never fully flex your knuckles, eventually they will not be able to flex. You're gonna go back to flat hands. You're gonna have straight elbows. Same thing, little internal rotation, little external rotation. We're gonna add an element to this now. So from kind of a neutral back, I want you to see if you can bring your shoulder blades together So you've moved your rib cage closer to the floor. And with that, it's back to the elbow movement. So shoulder blades together with internal and external rotation of the shoulder. Just getting into different little nooks and crannies in our shoulders. Anytime your wrists get tired, take a break, change their shape. So we're going to come down onto our elbows. This time you're going to see, can I turn my palms to face up and get all of my fingernails on the floor, including your thumbnails. And then you let your head drop, you let your pelvis tip forward, and then you try and pull your ribs away from the floor. So just a little different work here. Breathing into your upper back. Take one more breath. Turn your palms to face down. Pick yourself up. You're going to come all the way up into a high kneel. So knees comfortably apart. If your knees don't love the floor, pad the floor up as much as you need to. You're going to try, tuck your tail, flatten out the front of your hip, drop your ribs down, and you're leaning back until your quads say hello. And then picking yourself back up again. So you're leaning back, picking yourself up. Leaning back, hanging out there. Quads are working, your abs are working. You don't have to tell them to. They'll do their job without you telling them to. Pick yourself back up. Now, shift all of your weight into your right knee so you can get your left leg up off the floor. Just a little kneeling balance. And a kneeling balance is definitely going to feel different than a standing balance. You can do whatever it is you need to do with your arms to be here. You go right ahead. And then you're going to bring, and you can touch the foot down as much as you need to. You're going to bring that left leg around. So knee over heel, hip over knee. And in this one, and I'm kind of a terrible example, or a really good example of this, I guess. This tendency for the ribs to flare, and you can try this. If you let your ribs pop forward, there's going to be less tension in the front of the bottom hip. If you drop your ribs down and tuck your tail, there's going to be some more tension there. And that's kind of what we're looking for here. It's that little bit of stretch in the front of the bottom leg. If balance is an issue, you can always use a chair or the wall or something. Again, if the floor is really hard under that knee, pad it up, or just don't do this. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. So you're tucking, breathing, noticing. Now, shift your weight back and see if you can pull the front leg up off the floor. So again, it's a kneeling balance, and your balance is going to be different. Like you'll notice for me, this is more challenging. Again, flailing around is just fine. You're going to bring that leg around, bring your knee down, come through tabletop. Now you have a choice. You can sit back into a child's pose. You could rest laying on your belly if your knees are tired of the knee bend, or you can come on up into a downward facing dog. And your downward facing dog, this particular down dog, I want you to bend your knees a lot and try and get sort of a flattish back. Wobble a little bit from side to side. You could pedal your heels a little bit. Bill is super tired today, not really interested in getting involved in anything. Oh, I said his name. Hey, Bill. What are you doing, bud? Oh, look at that. He's got a great little down dog. You're going to drop your knees. You're going to pick yourself up into a low kneel with a toe curl. So your feet turned under. Sitting back. And you bring the backs of your hands to touch. Backs of the hands touch and you pull down. Sit. Now lay down. Nope, down. Good boy. So you're just pulling down and breathing. Now again, you're going to pick yourself up. Tuck your tail. Lean back. Pick yourself up. You're going to lean back. Pick yourself up. Lean back. Hang out there. And again, now we're going to shift. So it's left knee down, right knee up. Little kneeling balance. And feel free to wobble a little bit. It's perfect. And earlier in the class, when we were laying on our back, we did the hip hover, and maybe you noticed that one of your legs was more stable than the other. You might observe a similar effect here, that like I am less stable on my left side than my right in both situations. You're gonna bring that right leg around. Same thing, we're gonna tuck our tail, we're gonna drop our ribs. You're pulling a little bit with the right leg, resisting a little bit with the left. Looking for a little tension there in that bottom leg. You shift your weight back, pull the right foot up off the floor. Again, feel free to wobble a little bit. It's fine. You're gonna bring that leg around. And again, it's either child's pose, laying on your belly, or downward facing dog. Now in this down dog, I want you to think about trying to find some straight legs while also trying to manufacture a little arch in your back. Let your head go, let your belly hollow, breathe. Take one more breath here, drop your knees. So again, in tabletop, your wrists get tired, change the shape of your hands. Maybe you're on fists, maybe you roll up a little blanket and have some support under your wrists. From the tabletop, I'm gonna get you to stretch your left leg out. So left heel, right knee in line. And we're gonna work with a little bit of cats and dogs. So you're gonna push the floor away, cat back, lift the tail, look up, dog back. And we might notice that the movement of the pelvis relative to that left leg is harder. So it's not your usual cat and dog. Just lifting and tucking. Great little stretch for your inner leg. Interesting work in the hip and the low back. Also really interesting to observe kind of what's going on in your pelvic floor. Now from here, and I like to turn my toes under. You don't have to. You're just gonna sit back and come forward. Sit back, come forward. Breathing. Sit back, hold that. Lift your left foot, it's like a little check mark. And then you're gonna roll over. And I can almost do it, I can't quite do it. You're gonna try and get your heel to the floor. Just balance here. Not every set of hips, not every set of knees is gonna love this. You're gonna notice on the left side, it's gonna be quite different. You're gonna pull yourself forward. You're gonna swing that leg back. And then again, it's a little downward facing dog. You're gonna pick your hips up, let your head drop. Pedal your heels if you like. Breathe. Should put your knees back down. Switch sides. So we're gonna Kick that right leg out. Same again, it's cats and dogs. You're gonna push the floor away, tuck your tail, lift your tail, look up. Make sure that you are breathing. Something to think about, and I don't know, maybe you would notice this and maybe you would not. You might observe that my left elbow in particular hyperextends, and you will see that I am not particularly worried about it. It is my elbow. It doesn't hurt. So I'm not worried about it. That is just what my elbow does. There's nothing dangerous or bad about it. It is how I am. So again, you're gonna pick your tail up. I like to turn my back toes under. You go ahead and do whatever. You're gonna sit back. You're gonna come forward. Sitting back, coming forward. Breathe. Now again, you're gonna sit back. You're gonna lift your right toes up. You're gonna see about rolling over the left toes and sitting back. And so you'll see I don't have as much flexion in my left ankle as I do in my right. Significantly harder to get my weight back into my heel there. Not really worried about it. It's not good or bad. It is just the way my left foot is at this point. And so I'm just doing the best I can. Dropping back a little bit. Breathing. Interestingly enough, it's actually a lot better than it used to be, say 5 years ago. You're going to shift your weight back forward. Swing that leg around. Last time, downward facing dog. So you're going to pick yourself up into your down dog. This time in down dog, I'm going to get you to pick one leg up. Just reach it up as high as you want to. It can look like whatever it wants to look like. It's like your dog found a fire hydrant maybe. Put that leg down. Other side. And just really lift. Breathe. Put that leg down. Then you're going to just take one hand off the floor. And it's different. If you reach the hand forward, it's going to feel different than if you reach it back. And then you're going to switch. And then we're going to take your dog for a walk. Just walk around a little bit. If you can, keep straight legs, go ahead. You need to bend your legs, do whatever you got to do. Just make sure you're breathing. Walk around as much as space allows. You don't want to walk around, don't worry about it. Walk backwards. You can walk sideways. You're going to come back to your space. You're going to pull yourself into a plank position. Now, we're going to do 5 of these. You do them the way that you need to do them. So you might drop your knees. You might not. You're going to pull yourself down. You're going to push yourself up. Straight legs or not, pull yourself down. Push yourself up. 2. These are not push-ups. 3. 4. 5. Leave yourself down there. Hands come around. Forehead rests on your hands. Toes come together. Heels drop out. Just breathing your belly into the floor. Now here, super gently, just bend your left knee. Give it a little windshield wiper. Lower that leg down. Switch sides. Bingo, windshield wiper. about barking dogs in your yoga class. It's awesome. Now I need you to stretch your arms out so you look like a letter T. You're going to put your left hand on the floor. You're going to bend your left knee. You're going to pick your left leg up, roll it back. So your left foot will come to the floor behind you. Your right arm is straight behind you. Might not be comfortable or ideal in that shoulder. Just breathe. Move the arm if you need to. Just pressing that left knee up. You're going to roll yourself back. Turn your face the other way. Right hand comes to the floor. Pick your right leg up. Bring it around behind you. Breathe. Take one more breath. Bring that back. Hands come around, forehead rests on your hands. Just notice. And then again, we're going to do a little bit of rolling. So at the beginning of the class, we did rolling and we were little, like a ball. Now you're going to roll, you're a little bit bigger. So you're like a little starfish, a narrow starfish. If you were on a mat, hands might be about mat width apart, slightly wider, feet same thing. Now you're going to pick your head up if that's comfortable, and you're going to look at your right hand. Your face is going to follow your hand. So you're going to pick your right hand up. It's going to pull you over. You're going to leave your right leg as long as you can, and eventually you'll roll out flat. Then you pick up your left arm, and you reach, and it pulls you over onto your belly. And depending on how much space you got, you can maybe go a couple more times that way. I'm out of space, so I'm going to roll back. Pick up, reach, and roll. Couple of times. Now there's that option, which is maybe a little bit less difficult. Now another option, if you want a little more load, arms and legs are together. You pick your arms and legs up and you roll from your belly, trying to use your legs as little as possible. And one side will usually be easier than the other. One way will be easier than the other. And then just relax. And notice how great rolling around on the floor feels. It's like a really inexpensive massage. So you get yourself back onto your back. Arms a little bit away from the body. Palms, hands face up. Move your feet, again, about as wide as your mat, slightly wider than your hips. Just a little side to side. Breathing. You're going to let both knees fall to the right. You're going to leave them there. You reach your arms up overhead. Bring your arms back forward. Pick your knees up. Knees drop to the other side. Same thing, you might reach your arms up overhead. You don't have to. Just breathing. I got a lot of yawns today. Your arms back forward, bring your legs back up. Just for a moment, bring your feet together. Let your knees go wide into reclining bound angle. The legs get heavy. Make any little adjustments to the neck and shoulders that you need. Breathe.
your knees together. Stretch your legs out and lie flat. So again, as always, as you stretch yourself out and lie flat, if lying flat on your back doesn't land well, put something under your head, put something under your knees, bend your knees, put your legs up on a chair, lay on your stomach instead of your back, put your legs up the wall if that feels better. Just take a moment, be very deliberate about placing your body in a way that it can rest. As always, simply begin by noticing the feeling of the breath in the body. Every time you inhale, body expands. Every time you exhale, body settles and lets go. The soles of your feet are relaxed. And your ankles are relaxed. Your lower legs are relaxed. And your knees are relaxed. Your thighs are relaxed. And your hips are relaxed. Your low back is relaxed. And your middle back is relaxed. Your stomach is relaxed. And your chest is relaxed. Fingers are relaxed. The palms of your hands are relaxed. Your arms are heavy and relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your neck is long, your throat is soft, your jaw is relaxed. Space between your teeth, softness in your tongue. Your lips are relaxed. Feeling the corners, the mouth dropping back to the floor beneath you. Your cheeks are relaxed. All the little muscles around your eyes are relaxed. Eyelids resting softly. Feeling the corners, the eyes dropping back to the floor beneath you. Your forehead is smooth and relaxed. Your ears are relaxed. Your mind is relaxed. And your heart is relaxed. Feel free to stay and relax as long as it's comfortable. Thank you all for joining me today. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy.